Constructed in 1830 by Leroy Pope as a stagecoach stop tavern and inn, and named Pope's Tavern. Pope's Tavern, aka the Lambeth Home, is the building which was used as a hospital by both the Union and Confederate soldiers during the war between the states. In 1874, it was purchased for a residence by Felix Lambeth, whose descendants owned it until 1965, when it was purchased and restored by public donations and city funds. And this building right here is now a museum, and this is Pope's Tavern, which sits right in the heart of Florence, Alabama. Let's get it. What up, this your boy P9, and I'm coming at you with another vlog. And now I'm in Florence, Alabama. Florence is a city and county seat of Lauderdale County, located in northwest Alabama in the Shoals area. It is the anchor city of the Florence Muscle Shoals metro area. And I did a vlog where I vlogged in Sheffield, Tuscumbia, and Muscle Shoals, and that's in the Shoals walking vlog. But the Florence is going to be a standalone vlog. So here I am in Florence, and this is the Lauderdale County Courthouse. I'm over here on Court Street. Again, this is the Lauderdale County Courthouse, and check out this little waterfall they have out in the front of the courthouse. Give it a little flavor, you know. Another one of those statues, Confederate statues right here. And there goes a Harley, nice Harley right over here. And in Lauderdale County is a county that is older than the state of Alabama. And Lauderdale County was created February 6, 1818 by the Alabama Territorial Legislature. Alabama became a state 1 year later in 1819. And it was named for Colonel James Lauderdale, cavalrymen under General John Coffee and Andrew Jackson, War of 1812, killed in Battle of New Orleans. Okay, Coffee planned Florence, the county seat. So now I'm in the heart of Florence. At the corner of College and Court Street. Now Florence does have a riverfront. It's located along the Tennessee River, and there's also a major university here in town, the University of North Alabama, which happens to be the oldest public college in the state. So Florence is essentially a college town because of that, similar to how Tuscaloosa is and Auburn. It's a bank right here. As I approach the corner of Court and Tennessee Streets, and here's a marker that gives a little bit of history pertaining to the founding of Florence in March of 1818. As we mentioned earlier, Lauderdale County was created by the territorial legislature in February of 1818, and it was organized for the purpose of establishing a new town that would become the county seat for Lauderdale County. This town was to be at the foot of the Muscle Shoals and at the head of the navigation on the Tennessee River. So the signing took place, let's see, on the Huntsville office of the federal surveyor for northern Alabama, General John Coffey. The 7 trustees were Thomas Bibb, John Childress, John Coffey, James Jackson, John McKinley, Dabney Morris, and Leroy Pope. So the first action of the new company was the purchase of 5,515.77 acres of land for $85,235.24, or $15.45 per acre at the land sales in Huntsville. So that's an awful lot of land right there. So Florence at the time was an isolated hilltop in the wilderness overlooking the Tennessee River. So Florence was also named after the city in what is it, Italy, I believe. We got a Jimmy John's down here. Senor Tequila, Riccatoni's Italian Grill. So they got a Mexican restaurant right next to an Italian restaurant. Okay. Specs downtown. I like that logo. That's sick. So as I mentioned before, Florence is home to the University of North Alabama. I believe the campus is relatively close to downtown. So this is giving, this environment over here is giving like college town vibe. You know. This building right here, you can tell this is a classic old school building right over here. And South Hall Drugs, Charles Morton South Hall, constructed this commercial Italiante style building in 1900 of the finest materials for his wholesale/retail drug business. The elegant interior by Charles Hester, New York City, contained the area's first rubber tile floor. In addition to health wares, window glass, paint, seeds, musical instruments, and other sundries were dispensed. The building remained a pharmacy until 1979. In 1982, it was renovated by the South Hall family and Byron Bauer for combined commercial/residential use with John Mott, AIA, Fort Smith, Arkansas architect. It was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1980. So this is, again, this is it right here, the South Hall building. So it's been sitting since 1900. So we're talking 125 years. So it looks relatively abandoned for the most part, with the exception of the Salvation Army thrift store right here. Flobama. Flobama, eat, listen, and enjoy. So they have live music bands that perform here. And they also have like a trivia night. See, it's a little after 4 o'clock p.m. So they probably won't start getting the ball rolling until like later on this evening. Strickland Hotel. Okay, so they have a historic hotel building right here. Strickland building, constructed in 1946. And on the bottom floor it has the BBB Big Bad Breakfast. Okay. All right. Have Mugshots Bar. Mugshots Grill and Bar. Of course, they have this in pretty much every college town imaginable. Make my way across the street over here. Check out the architecture on this building right here. That's an interesting form of architecture. But again, Florence gets its name from a city in Italy. So it would make sense that they will have a building kind of styled like this. And it's the Santander Historic District Medical Arts Building, which was built in 1926 in the Spanish Revival architectural style. And this is the first structure in Florence erected with a steel skeleton supporting the floors, walls, and roof. The framework is strong enough to support 2 more stories than were actually built. Okay. So it's a solid foundation. Nice building. So a lot of this is the Center Historic District. So in this district, a lot of these buildings are residential buildings. So there are a lot of homes, old classic houses with different architectural styles. And as I make my way towards the North Alabama University campus, and here's one of the buildings to the University of North Alabama. It's called Colby Hall. It's essentially an admissions it's like the admissions building. The Simpson House, Irvine Place, Colby Hall. So this building right here, the Colby Hall, was built by John Simpson in 1843 on the site of his earlier home. This residence was occupied at various times by both armies during the Civil War, and it was purchased in 1867 by George W. Foster, builder of Courtview, for his daughter Virginia and her husband James B. Irvine. So this building was actually restored in 1948 as well. So now it functions as a college building and admissions hall for the University of North Alabama. Rogers Hall Alumni House right here. Alumni Relations, University Foundation, University Advancement, University Office of Media and Public Relations. So it houses a lot of different things. This big building right here. And as you can see right in front, there's the sign for the University of North Alabama. Its logo being the lions. It has that, there you see that purple and gold, and it was established in 1830. So here it goes, the nice sign right here. And this is Courtview, aka Rogers Hall. And George W. Foster, planter, built this Greek revival mansion. An act of the legislature was required to close Court Street in the fall of 1864. It was headquarters of Nathan B. Forrest, General CSA. Foster's daughter Sarah Independence McDonald and her family lived here until 1900, when it became the home of Governor Emmett O'Neill. In 1922 it was acquired by the Thomas M. Rogers Sr. and in 1948 by the University of North Alabama. So pretty nice buildings right over here. You get like a little glimpse of the campus, see what's what. Robert Goulart University Center. So this building I just walked by was Powers Hall, Office of International Affairs. And this is the Mitchell Burford Science Technology Building right here. This little chain link fence right here. Surrounded. It's blocking my view, but it's all good. Some more buildings over there. That's University of North Alabama Laura Harrison Hall. It's a CB&S Bank Arena, aka Flowers Hall. And this is actually the basketball arena for the North Alabama Lions basketball team, both men's and women's. Just wanted to come over here and get this lion sculpture that sits right in front of CB&S Bank Arena, aka Flowers Hall. So of course the Lions is the mascot for the North Alabama University. And this is a residential hall right here called Rivers Hall. And that's it. I just wanted to give you that little close-up of the Lions statue. And right over here is the looks like the planetarium. So we have a student rec center over here. And they have a parking, they have their own parking garage over here as well. So in a nutshell, that is UNA's campus. Stay tuned for more footage coming up for downtown. On Hermitage Drive, making my way back downtown. This is Colonel Pickett Place. Now this is a double pile cottage, which is a rare Alabama example of tidewater architecture that originated along the southern seaboard during the colonial period. Now this house right here was built in 1833 by Thomas J. Crow, who was a proprietor of the early National Hotel in Florence as a wedding gift for his bride, Elizabeth Hooks of Tennessee. It later became the home of Richard Oric Pickett, who arrived in 1843 to become one of the town's leading attorneys. Pickett was colonel of the 10th Alabama Infantry under General Philip Roddy called the Defender of North Alabama during the Civil War. And this is the grounds where Pickett Place sits on. So it's a really unique style of architecture right here in Alabama. As you can see right here, it has a fountain. And there's also like a little yard over there that's used for like wedding receptions and stuff like that. So, yep. Just thought I'd stop by and check that out as I make my way back downtown on Hermitage Drive. I'm actually walked down here on Seminary Street. This is the First United Methodist Church right over here. It's a pretty good sized building. University, North Alabama University Health Services building. Check this out right here. It's a nicely sculpted fountain right over here. And you know what, guys? I don't even know what the name of this park is. I'm about to find out though. But I like this fountain. It seems to be the centerpiece of this park. It has plenty of benches, plenty of benches to sit. Oh, it's called Wilson Park. Love city parks. Goes First Baptist Church right here. That fountain even looks good from over here. I mean, it's definitely eye-catching. And there he goes. I was wondering when I was gonna spot a statue of W.C. Handy, and here it goes right here. The father of the blues, W.C. Handy sculpture, born right here in Florence, Alabama. And again, W.C. Handy, he is the father of the blues because he pretty much mastered the sound. You know, when you talk about the Shoals and its history of music, W.C. Handy was the forefront of that, especially when it comes to blues music. And let's not forget, he also performed in Clarksdale, Mississippi, which is where he lived for a period of time. If you guys saw my Clarksdale video, which by the way has well over 2,500 views now, then you would understand the history of W.C. Handy. I also highlighted him in that video. So before I go back down top Bigby Street, I'm gonna go ahead and this is the U.S. Post Office and Courthouse building. The Justice John McKinley Federal Building, named for Alabama's first U.S. Supreme Court Justice, John McKinley, who made his home in Florence, Alabama from about 1821 to 1842. But he was originally from Culpeper County, Virginia, which is where he was born. So he was basically one of the 7 founders of Florence in 1818. And that's who this building is named after, Justice John McKinley. So it's a nice building, that Greek Revival style architecture. a bike shop called the Spinning Spoke. That reminds me, guys, one of these vlogs, one of these days, I'm gonna have to get back to biking. You know, walking is cool, it's very healthy, very therapeutic, but biking is like a whole nother ball game. Can't wait to get back to vlogging and biking like I did in Charlotte, in Memphis. But I'm on Tom Bigby Street, and let me go ahead and walk down Graffiti Alley. And this is Graffiti Alley right here. So you see tons of graffiti down this alley. It's really dope. Really dope, really dope. Reminds me of Wild Style, that movie from back in the 80s. Also Beach Street and Breaking. It was a lot of graffiti in those movies. Oh, let's not forget, one of my favorite video games growing up was Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio Future. A lot of graffiti in that. And R.I.P. Cass. That's nice right there. And there's more down this way. There's like a theater right here. It's called the Shoals. The Shoals Theater. And check this out. This is the Lost Pizza Company. So I'm actually at the corner of Mobile Street and Seminary Street. And again, this is a Lost Pizza Company restaurant. And check this out. This is a nice little fountain that sits in front of the restaurant. So right here, it has each of the major cities within the Shoals area. Now right here you have Tuscumbia, 1817. Florence, 1818. Sheffield, 1885. And the latest one out of all the Shoals cities, Muscle Shoals, 1923. So you got the stones that sit right here and the water that's flowing down. So I like how they have all the Shoals cities names with the year that they were incorporated. That's really dope. Whoever did this, whoever sculpted this, kudos to you for such a great job. I mean, it sits right here in front of this restaurant. And so you can hear that water flow. That's pretty that's a really relaxing aura you know. So this is the Shoals. So I take it that they play like older movies. I doubt these are first run movies. These are probably like older movies from back in the day, vintage movies. And they play theaters at right here in Florence. So right here is a marquee with all the upcoming shows. Pretty dope. I also like this right here. It has the heart and it has a bunch of locks on it, a bunch of padlocks and master locks. That is really creative right there. So I guess it symbolizes you having, somebody's heart being on lock. Like you have the key to my heart. I guess I don't know. That's what I take from that. You know, art is about interpretation. So I interpret that piece as someone having the key to somebody's heart. Check this out. This big rocking chair. Goliath. I guess it's called Goliath because it's so big. This rocking chair. Welcome to downtown Florence. Downtown Florence Alliance. Proudly sponsored by State Farm. Okay. The local branch of the State Farm. Tennessee Street now. I'm back to pretty much where I started earlier, but it's one more thing I want to get before I proceed to the riverfront. I'm gonna try to get to the river, Tennessee River. You know, I have to get the riverfront, of course. So before I get that, I want to go check out this marker over here. check this out. Really want to come to this marker because being that the Shoals area is home to many studios, recording studios back in the day, it's only right that I get the original site of Fame Recording Studios in the early 1960s. This marks the site of the pioneering music company of Florence, Alabama Music Enterprises, or Fame for short. It is a name which became renowned worldwide as the home of the Muscle Shoals sound. Fame was founded in the early 1960s by three young local entrepreneurs, Rick Hall, Billy Sherrill, and Tom Stafford, who improvised a makeshift studio in a vacant room above the city drugstore that once stood here. Fame's earliest recording sessions launched the careers of such music business legends as Arthur Alexander, Rick Hall, Billy Sherrill, Norbert Putnam, David Briggs, Dan Penn, Spooner Oldham, and many others. Following limited success, the partnership dissolved. Rick Hall took the publishing company and Fame name in return for the studio equipment. He relocated the studio to an empty tobacco warehouse in Muscle Shoals. His next recording of You Better Move On by Arthur Alexander was acclaimed as the Shoals' first worldwide bestseller. I gotta check that out. Over the next several decades, Fame Recording Studios became one of the most successful producers of rhythm and blues, pop, and country music in the world. Rick Hall became known as the father of the Muscle Shoals sound. So who would have known in a little bitty section of Alabama known as the Shoals area would there be the birth of a unique sound called the Muscle Shoals sound. It goes to show you, no matter where you're from, you can definitely thrive with your pen and your imagination. But with that in mind, this concludes the downtown portion of Florence, Alabama. Now I'm gonna move on and we're gonna check out the riverfront. So stay tuned. I'm here at the last stop of my Florence vlog and overall Shoals vlog. I'm over here at the McFarland Park. McFarland Park, a major park here in Florence, located along the Tennessee River. So it's a pretty chill evening out here at McFarland Park. It's nice enough to take a stroll and do some vlogging. And over there is the Florence Harbor, or the marina, whatever you want to call it. And there's a bunch of boats and ships and everything like that, fishing boats, so you can go over there and fish. But check this out. That's a nice mural right there. Haven't seen a good mural in quite some time. So this represents the culture of the Shoals. You got fishing, you got Native American history and music. And this mural was put together by Scott Campbell in 2023. So shout out to Scott Campbell for this beautiful work of art right here. And this is the McFarland Park and Recreation Area. And this bottomland serves as a reservoir for TVA's flood control program, TVA being the Tennessee Valley Authority. Florence leases it for recreational purposes when not being used by TVA. Major Robert McFarland, a native of Ireland, his wife Kate Armstead McFarland, and their 7 children resided in the antebellum mansion now called Mapleton that overlooked this river bottom. Strawberries were once grown here. Jobless families were encouraged to plant vegetable gardens here during the Great Depression. Major McFarland rode with Confederate General John Hunt Morgan and became the first cavalry to leap across the line onto Indiana soil. So what stood out to me in that one, outside of the cool history, is that families were encouraged to plant vegetable gardens here during the Great Depression. Remember, in history, Great Depression was when the time when the stock market crashed and a lot of people were out of work. A lot of people lost a lot of monies that they had invested into bank accounts, and these bank accounts weren't insured. You know, they didn't have the FDIC, which insured the banks in the event of a major catastrophe with the banks. So all those people that had their money invested in the banks lost all that money, plus the people lost their jobs. So you know, it made it harder for people to, you know, afford a place to live and afford to eat. So it was cool that they were allowed to come here and use the land to harvest an abundance of vegetables and fruits so that they can eat, you know, eat off the land for free. So that's pretty cool. Nice view of the river right here. The good old Tennessee River. When I tell you these nature walks, they are extremely relaxing and therapeutic. It's a good way to unwind after a long week on the grind at the job, you know what I'm saying? So glad to be out here in Florence along the river, getting this nice evening stroll, taking in this nice evening early fall air. And you can see there goes the bridge that goes over the Tennessee River. So this is my first visit to Florence. I've never been to Florence before. All these years living in Alabama, never been to Florence. So, yeah. And it's really been a cool experience overall. A priceless experience. So it's a public boat access area right here. Alabama Division of Wildlife and Freshwater Fisheries. So it's where you can get your fish on and your boating, power boating. There's a gentleman out there right now riding a power boat through the river. And they actually have a restaurant. They have a marina and restaurant over there. Florence Harbor Marina and Restaurant. So that's nice. You can go and get you some grub after power boating on the river, or fishing, or whatever it is, whatever type of activity you like to do on the water. Another thing that people like to do is skip rocks along the pond, you know, or the river. It's a cool, nice, interesting looking tower right here. Okay. And being that this is early October, the early part of fall, within the next few weeks or so, we're going to experience shorter days because daylight savings time is going to be over for the rest of the year, or at least until, you know, until spring. So enjoy this extra daylight while we can, because it is now almost 6 o'clock in the evening, and you know, once daylight savings time is over, by this time it will be pitch dark. Once it approaches 6, it's dark as I don't know what during the fall time, after daylight savings time officially ends for the year. I don't know if you guys notice, if you watch my channel enough, you realize that I prefer daytime vlogging. I like getting things done as early as I possibly can. So I get up I get up super early when the sun comes up, or before the sun comes up, to travel to my destination and start vlogging. That's just how it is with me. I'm a daytime person. I'm not much of a night owl. Right after I get done with this, I'll be heading home. So I'll get home before it gets too late and still have time to relax, enjoy the rest of my evening. But a very relaxing stroll along the Tennessee River. The sun still very much in the sky, very much in sight. Got like a cruise ship right there. Yeah. It looks like a cruise ship called the American Melody. Yeah, that's a cruise ship. It's definitely a cruise ship. I thought it might have been like a river boat or something, like, you know. Nah, that's a full-fledged cruise ship. It's nice though. So I guess this is, aside from being a river, I guess this is basically also a port. So Florence is a port city, meaning I guess they have cruises that leave that port, that depart from here. But it's one of those inland, I guess it's one of those inland cruises, or inland ports rather. Nice. Well guys, this concludes my Florence vlog. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, please hit that like button if you like the content, and also if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any new content that I post on a consistent basis. And with that in mind, my good people, again, thanks for watching. You guys take care, have yourselves a great day, and see you on the next one. Peace.